Welcome to the Jon Myer Podcast, where we bring you thought leaderships and conversations from around the world. Today's topic, control your AI destiny with OpenOps, game-changing BYOAI approach. Yes, that's bring your own AI. Joining us once again is none other than the CEO of OpenOps, Amit. Please join us in welcoming Amit to the show. Amit, thanks for joining me again.
Hello, John. Thanks for having me. Always glad to be on your show.
Likewise, this is an awesome pleasure, and we've got a huge announcement coming up. But before we get to that, can you remind our audience, what is OpenOps?
So, OpenOps is a workflow engine with the no-code approach, which helps companies automate their processes, namely in cloud operations, and within that, namely in FinOps. So we actually help bridge the gap between visibility, between knowing that you have a bunch of issues, and actually running smooth operations in order to solve them and bring them to action. And that's our specialty. And of course, as a robust no-code workflow system, we can also handle budgeting and anomaly management and a bunch of other FinOps capabilities. And in the future, also more and more CloudOps capabilities in general.
Amit, a few months ago, you announced that OpenOps was going open source, but today we're here to talk about something new. Can you tell the audience, what is it?
First of all, I would say, John, that when we released the open source and we released the majority of our code as open source and gave a very big platform to the community with a permissive license, we had this sort of slogan in the release: OpenOps is going open source. And actually, for me, this is something more continuous rather than a single point in time. And so today we are here to speak about a new feature that we just released. It's just now in the open source repo. And that's the ability to use the open source with your own AI tooling. And that means that you can, while building the workflows, you will have a lot of places where you might need AI to help you to fill in the parameters. For example, if you want to run as a step in your workflow an SQL query, you might want AI to help you generate that query. If you want to run an Athena query over some data you have there, you might want to generate a query in Athena. If you want to run an AWS CLI command, you might want to run to generate that command with AI. Now, for us, this is something that is completely within the capabilities of the current models, and it doesn't require a specialized AI. So we are now releasing a feature, and that's again available in the OpenOps open source repo in GitHub. We're releasing the ability to connect any existing AI you already have, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude, or if you're consuming OpenAI via Azure, you can now connect that with OpenOps and build workflows more easily with an LLM helping you, and it's your own LLM that you control.
Amit, you mentioned a couple of those, but what types of AI providers are currently supported for your BYOAI feature?
Yes, so actually right now we support almost any AI that offers authentication with an application key. And that means we support all the major providers, whether it's Anthropic, and of course OpenAI, whether it's Azure OpenAI or Google Cloud AI. We support all the major providers as well as Mistral and a few smaller ones as well. Perplexity, etc. You can see the full list in our documentation, which I'm sure we can add a link to later.
What are some of the roadmap or future integrations that we're looking to expect from OpenOps?
Now we are releasing the integration with LLMs in a way that helps you generate mostly commands, SQL commands, CLI commands, etc. As we go further, we will expand this more and more. We will add more and more features to help you build your automations more easily using AI, while bringing your own AI where it makes sense. And that's where it needs to be said that, certain things the generic models are very good at. For example, generating SQL queries, as we spoke. At certain things, you might need more fine-tuned AI, etc. And that's where we will have our own models, and the generic models will not be enough. But our promise to our audiences and to our community is that whenever it makes sense to use a standard AI like ChatGPT or Claude in order to help you build workflows with our system, we will enable you to do that.
Amit, can you walk us through what motivated OpenOps to actually develop the BYOAI feature? And really, how does it differ from the typical AI integration approach that we see in today's market?
We saw company after company in the market, and that's not only in the field of cloud, that's basically in every field right now. Everyone are building GPT wrappers, as you call them, meaning they build a product which gives some sort of service on top of ChatGPT, and maybe takes ChatGPT into a specific vertical workflow. While many of them do amazing work and create architectures with their own vast, clean data and create really things that are beyond what ChatGPT or Claude are capable of, we still see a lot of companies offering products that don't actually add a lot of value on top of these models. And therefore, we thought that if we were to when we are speaking with our community, with the open source community, we see the demand to use your existing AI and not consume a third-party AI where it makes sense. And as I mentioned before, there are plenty of places where it makes sense. So we believe in the open vision. We believe in building a huge community, and therefore we want to bring value wherever we really can be that layer of added value, and we can really bring something special. We don't want to charge as a ChatGPT reseller or a Claude reseller. That doesn't add much value on top of that, right?
Exactly. I mean, if you're going to charge it where people can go directly to there and do the same type of thing, I think allowing or integrating this feature provides a lot of value to your customers, to the community. And it just gives so much back to everybody. Many organizations actually worry about the data sovereignty when they implement any type of AI solution. How does OpenOps approach with the BYOAI address these concerns?
That's exactly another very, very important point, John, because actually what happens is that companies have invested a lot in implementing an AI solution. Okay, so for example, they have done a very big deal with OpenAI, and as part of that, they've put data controls and a whole model around the security and privacy and data leak prevention of the usage of said AI. And that's exactly where we want to use the existing model. We don't need to reinvent a new model. So you, as a corporate user in an AI, you have a user to, let's take OpenAI just because they are the most popular and then by far. Let's say you have a user to OpenAI and the corporate account, ChatGPT. You already have your permission model in place. You already have your privileges. You already have your protection over what you can or cannot use. And that's where if you plug in that to our open source, that all just remains. We just work on top of that. And that's why it was a better solution for our customers, and that's always what drives us. We want to give you the best solution. We don't want, again, to do shenanigans that will then force you to use something that is not within your existing permission structure, unless, again, it adds a huge amount of value. So that's where we saw the customer need, and we wanted to deliver it as part of the community to show that again and again and again we are bringing value to the community and we are listening to our customers and to their needs.
Amit, help me understand how simple is it for users to implement their own API keys into OpenOps workflow?
Well, I would say about that, John, that if you know what an API key is, and if you have access to yours, then you're probably answering all the prerequisites needed. I mean, it's not everyone in the world, right? Not everyone in the world knows how to work with API keys, and but essentially it's a user password combination, right? That you put in as credentials, and that's all that's needed. You go to our settings, you put in your credentials, and from that moment forward, you can consume the LLM through our system and have it help you.
Amit, what you're saying is my technical expertise is enough to implement this.
Yes, I think so, John. You're overqualified, probably.
I like that. Amit, my last question is, how do you see the landscape of AI integration tools evolving over the next year? And how does OpenOps plan to stay ahead of these changes?
Look, we are seeing a lot of exciting trends right now. I don't know if you saw this, but just a few days ago, BCG, for example, have released a very interesting presentation about agentic AI and how it's progressing in the world. I think we are definitely, and I shared it with the team, I just said it recently internally with the team, we are definitely at an age where software engineering is being redefined. If you look at projects like MCP, the Model Context Protocol by Anthropic, that is already adopted by Microsoft and Google and Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. Don't take me on my word. It is at least two of them, but I don't remember which two. It's a new standard in the market, and it's essentially we're moving from a place where you had APIs in order to communicate between services, between different pieces of software, to where you have the Model Context Protocol, which helps expose every application, expose its context to an LLM so that an LLM can consume it. So that's one level of standardization that is happening in the market. We are agreeing on protocols for how applications are communicating with AI. More than that, Google has just released, and I just read a few days ago that Microsoft also adopted the standard. Google released A2A, agent to agent, a protocol for agents to communicate between themselves. So we are seeing paradigms changing. We are seeing new standards in the market. We are seeing a transition in how software engineering is handled and how all the interfaces look. So this is an entire new economy, we can call it, an entire new ecosystem. And OpenOps plans to be at the forefront of that. So we will be leveraging all the top most recent standards in a way that will, again, be driven by customer value. It's not about the hype. It's a new standard. New standard enables communications between systems. OpenOps is all about connecting different systems into one process, and therefore OpenOps will do a lot in that space and adopt a lot of the standards that we see widely adopted by the big tech companies. We will help build the connecting layer and build the right level of abstraction for building automations so that agents can create automations. Agents can serve automations to people working at enterprises who can review them, who can request changes. And we will also enable connectivity to other systems and enable, for example, our agents to speak with and orchestrate agents from provided by other companies and vice versa. So we're very excited about building this new network of AI infrastructure, and essentially from the point of showcasing that to a user and actually enabling users to harness all that power through our platform.
Amit, how can users get started utilizing this BYOAI feature for OpenOps?
So very simple. You can Google or ask ChatGPT to go to GitHub, OpenOps Cloud, -OpenOps, And you have the repo, you have the docs there, you have our Slack community, which you are more than welcome to join. And yeah, the GitHub repo includes all the instructions on how to start. And in the Slack community, our entire company is there to help you, as well as our amazing community, which is already helping each other to solve problems and to build with OpenOps. So you're invited to both these spaces, and we would love to see you there.
Everybody, today's topic was control your AI destiny with OpenOps game-changing, bring your own AI approach. Yes, that's bring your own AI with the CEO of OpenOps, Amit. Amit, thank you so much for joining me.
Jon, thanks so much for having me. Another great session.
This has been awesome. Everybody, this has been the Jon Myer Podcast. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notify, because guess what? We're out of here.